For more on this story, we can bring in our international affairs editor, Angela Diffley. Angela, good to see you. Netanyahu has basically set a date for this assault on Rafah. Meanwhile, talks have been taking place in Cairo over a possible ceasefire. What is the state of play at the moment?
As far as his statement that a date has been set, obviously we don't know what is really going on, and armies do not always necessarily say exactly what they really intend to do. Yeah. We don't know. He is under pressure from the extreme right. We talked about this yesterday, which has said that if there is no assault on Rafah, then they could threaten to collapse the coalition. So it's important for him to keep this idea alive. There is a school of thought as well that Netanyahu's continued insistence on an assault on Rafah is a means of keeping up pressure on Hamas as these negotiations continue in Cairo. They, at the moment, we've heard different moments that they're looking a little bit more hopeful or not. It seems that the sticking points are still the same. Hamas wants Israel to promise a complete withdrawal of its troops. Israel will not do that. Hamas wants a permanent ceasefire. Israel will not do that. And Hamas has asked for the unfettered access of displaced Palestinians in the south to be able to go back to the north. Israel would impose heavy restrictions on that. Against that, the actual exchange of hostages for prisoners, it's looking like 40 humanitarian high priority cases of Israeli hostages. That's women, children, sick people, the elderly, for hundreds of Palestinian prisoners. There might be some movement on that because neither side has issued a fixed list. What happens now is Yahya Sinwar, deep, we think, beneath in the tunnels beneath Rafah, has to make a decision on this.
Now, we have a new development today. The leaders of Egypt, Jordan, as well as France have put out an opinion piece warning against this assault on Rafah. This is something Washington has been saying as well. Plus, we had the French foreign minister who told France 24 that one of the levers at France's disposal was sanctions to to pressure Israel to let more aid into Gaza. What do you make of this joint communique issued today?
As far as the French foreign minister talking about the sanctions, it was a very vague reference to that was within the arsenal of possibilities for France. And he reminded listeners that France had been to the fore in persuading the European Union to use sanctions against Israeli settlers in the West Bank using violence against Palestinians. That said, I think at this delicate stage, nobody is going to do anything dangerous with sanctions, anything that might tip the balance either way. That is words of condemnation, words of this is what is in our arsenal. As far as the joint communique between Macron and the leaders of Egypt and Israel, that is for
Jordan,
Jordan, Egypt and Macron, that is for domestic consumption in every case. Macron, we have European elections coming up. He is keen to make sure that he is seen to condemn civilian casualties in the highest possible terms. Egypt is quietly, very many people think, content to see Israel eradicate Hamas as much as possible in Rafah. And Jordan, too, needs to be widely, publicly supportive. That communique is for domestic consumption.